Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
What is up, Lock Shoppers? Welcome to The Lock Shop, presented by Play Alberta, live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Matawanac in for Dustin Nielson. He might be calling the Islanders game tonight for Islanders TV. I got the text here in the show that Dusty... How does this work? The guy, Islanders TV play-by-play guy, is stuck in Toronto. So he's on standby to call the game on MSG if the guy can't make it here. So he's prepping for that. So Dusty might be calling this Oilers-Islanders game for the Islanders broadcast.
It's first ever NHL game.
Would it be?
It would be.
Never called an NHL game?
Nope.
Why does that surprise me?
Goosebumps. Let's go Nasties. Yeah, that's Dusty, baby.
So that's where he's gone. So I've got tapped. The righty from the bullpen has been called in. Casino Dealer Jay, always an excuse. Hey, Maddie, was there really a text? Does the Islanders play-by-play guy, is he really stuck in Toronto? Why isn't he with the Islanders as is? Yeah, there's always something. No, so hopefully all goes well. Hopefully the guy's stuck in Toronto for the rest of the day and Dusty gets to call an Islanders game with the Edmonton Oilers tonight. That'd be great. They sit down below. So that's why I'm here. And what we're going to talk about on the show today, I got to figure that out fully. Obviously, we'll talk some NHL as the Oilers taking on the Islanders. I don't even know how many games are on the NHL schedule tonight. Thursday usually means there's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games in the NHL today. You just have to bear with me because obviously I was on the hangout, so I haven't had a chance to fully prep for a show like this one today. So we'll get that. Big Uke has already sent the grandest parlay. I will get that over to Play Alberta at some point here to get that up. They're looking to go 2 in a row, so lots to get to today. And we'll talk some NFL maybe with here today. John Harbaugh on to the New York Giants, looking like a 5-year trip. Jasmine was saying $100 million. I saw 5 years. I didn't see the $100 million. $20 million a season. Imagine that. Connor McDavid, or no, who's the highest paid player in the NHL right now? Or it's going to be Kaprizov, right?
It will be Kaprizov,
At what, 17.5 was it? He didn't get 18, did he?
17.25?
Something like that.
Or is it 16?
Highest paid NHLer will be that. And John Harbaugh's going to get upwards of $20 million to coach in the National Football League. Just when you see the money of these things, it's just absolutely incredible. Duck Dad, McDavid undresses 5 Islanders. What is happening? Well, he can't be doing that fully when he's doing an Islanders broadcast, but I understand what you're saying there. He'll have to, imagine him. If his first NHL game, he gets to call a Patty Waugh coach team. It's just destiny.
That's what I was saying.
It's just destiny for him for that one.
The stars have aligned. It
would have to be more like Matt Schaefer with a bomb from the point, what is happening type thing. Because he's got to be pro Islanders. Or at least lean towards the Islanders.
He's like, let's go Isles.
Have you ever done play-by-play?
No, man.
Did you ever dream of it when you were going to college?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So when I was in college, there was during the COVID, so that sucked.
There were no teams.
So there was no teams, there was no tournaments, and yeah, we host like a huge, like the ACACs or whatever, and we broadcast the whole thing at Lethbridge College, and everyone kind of gets a turn to do play-by-play, to do sidelines. I don't know if Nate probably does something similar to that, but I, in fact, was not, so we had to do like an esports. So you know what I got to call?
NHL?
No. Rocket League. That was my play-by-play.
Is that good or bad?
I mean, it's not.
Is it a good game at least?
I'm not calling basketball. I'm not calling anything else. I'm calling, kids playing video games. So that wasn't fun. I'm like, oh, he goes up and the car kicks the ball and it doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, I see what this is.
So it sucked.
I also really enjoyed that Haas is logged in and all I heard him go, oh, Maddie's here. And then great game to Rocket League. I heard both of those things. Obviously, Dusty didn't text Haas about this. So right away, we'll bring Haas on the show. The fact that, just all of a sudden I heard, oh, Maddie's here. There he is, Hustler. Haas, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Good to see you. Yeah, I heard you guys talking Rocket. You've never played Rocket League?
I haven't. I'm a PS3 guy. I'm not a PC guy. I haven't played new games in a long time, so I'm not aware of this. So I'm just looking at Google images of what it is. It looks fun. I will say that.
It is super fun. It's like a physics-based, basically some sort of futuristic soccer with this massive ball, and it's cars, and you smash the ball with the car to get it in the net. I started playing it a little bit during the pandemic, I guess, just because there was nothing else to do. But then I realized, like, if you go on, how like big esports is. I mean, obviously it's all like these crazy games, League of Legends or things that I'm not too sure about. But Rocket League during the pandemic, there was big time esports on that. They'd have 3-on-3. I suggest it is one of those games that anyone of any age can play it. Very, very fun. So I'm looking forward to. Now, what I didn't catch was what Trev. So Trev, is this all the guys in EST have to like do play-by-play of some video game or sport?
No, so how this all comes up, I was just asking Trev if he ever had interest in doing play-by-play when he went through broadcast school. Like Penner's Pancakes asked, I'd never have had interest in doing play-by-play. It's never been something I've wanted to do. I've wanted to be, talk show host, that level. Hot takes. Yeah, absolutely. But Dusty, the reason Dusty's not here is the Islanders TV play-by-play guy is stuck in Toronto. So right as the hangout was starting, he got the call that if the guy can't make it into town before the game starts, he's going to have to call the game for MSG for the Islanders broadcast. And so he went home to go prep. And he's never called an NHL game before, apparently. I didn't realize that. He's never, of all the stuff that he's done, he's never gotten an NHL game.
That's the one thing on the checklist that the kid doesn't have.
And he loves Patty Waugh. So with the Islanders in town, he gets to possibly call a game coached by, one of his favorite players. It's kind of all full circle. So that's where I asked Trev if he had ever had interest in play-by-play, ever did. And he had interest. He just hasn't had the ability or the opportunities to go do it a lot.
It's one of those things, if you want to get into play-by-play, you really do have to love it, have to see it as, I think, a goal and to grind. I mean, like Dusty, I don't know how many of those Golden Bears games he did over the years. It's
wild. He did the Golden, like he was doing CFL on TSN. Like when he first started doing it, he still then was calling Bears games those seasons. And we're like, you probably could stop doing this now. Like you're that next level. But he just loved doing them so much that he just kept doing them.
Yeah, I mean, you get a chance, you get in a routine, you get a chance to kind of be, you're feeling like you're really a part of it. And you make a major connection with fans. Obviously, U Sports is, not at a CFL or NHL level, but there's still a lot of people that live and die by those teams and, are connecting in. I mean, friends and families and all that stuff. So yeah, it's that'll be great. Well, listen, I mean, I would love to be able to turn the tube on tonight and hear Dusty on the MSG network. We got this center ice package, so we should be able to get that broadcast as well, not just the one here. So we'll see how that goes. He's fired up, I'm sure, about that opportunity. He'll jump in and he'll kill it if he does it.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, hey, he'll have no worry. I was saying with some of the nasties before, and he just got to make sure that when he does his what is happening, whatever that is, it's in favor of the Islanders, not in favor of the Oilers, and realize that he needs to be pro Islanders more so than pro Edmonton Oilers tonight in that one. But no, he'll go in. Like it's one of those, he'll have like, I think somebody will notice, oh yeah, maybe this guy should be doing some hockey, whether it's at TSN or Sportsnet or somewhere else. Somebody's going to be like, oh yeah, this guy's damn good at what he does, because he's very good at all of that. Did you ever have interest in play-by-play? Because your path into radio is a little different. You were
really
through the sales side and all of that.
I always thought that would be sort of a cool thing to do. When I was a kid, I would turn the volume down on baseball games and sort of imitate what I was listening to. But it's just weird. I mean, I never really had the opportunity to kind of get into broadcast school. And, then I was working with teams, and I kind of thought that my path would be going through kind of an organization. And then it's kind of weird. I was just thinking about this the other day. It's almost 20 years almost to the day, actually, probably right about now in early January, that I got the call that probably changed my path really in life. I mean, a guy that was running a radio station that I did a football pick show. Kind of funny. It all comes back to football picks. A football pick show with a couple guys on the local Shaw station. And it was pretty popular. It was there to kind of promote their Sunday ticket package. And a guy that was dealing with a smaller radio station in town asked me if I wanted to do some radio stuff just in and around the Turin Olympics. So I would go in there in the morning and I'd record some stuff before I went to work downtown at the rink, and did that through the Olympics. And then, hey, would you want to do something every morning on the morning show? And I said, yeah, okay. It's actually kind of good for routine. Get there and then go down there. And then, hey, you want to start a show, a sports show? We don't have any money for you, but if you can make it work with a sponsor, it'll be good. And then the rest is history. So I don't know, that'll be good. Well, hey, you just need one game in the bigs to show what you can do.
As you were talking there, I got the unfortunate text. False alarm. Dusty says, now I'm in depression. The flight got off the ground in Toronto. So, damn Toronto. They ruin everything. They always ruin things. Now this time they let a flight come into Edmonton that we didn't want coming in. So it's going to have to wait a little bit. That's too bad. He's probably had his hopes raised a little bit there, and then it happened. So that absolutely sucks. So he won't be in the office for today still, but that makes a lot of sense. But soon he'll be calling one of those games.
Islanders. We saw the Islanders were in here on Tuesday night for that 5-4 game that the Jets were able to win. Man, I mean, I'll say this: you guys are in for a treat tonight. For those of you that are going to the game, I mean, this Matthew Schaefer. He's going to be a superstar in this league for the next 15 plus years. He is such a special player, and his energy, like I'm sure most people have heard interviews with him, really, really special dude. But, his energy as an 18-year-old on that team is something to behold. And I will say this, you mentioned MSG networks, Matt, as we maybe transition to what happened last night. No matter what happens with the Islanders at the Oilers tonight, nothing can be worse than what was on MSG last night. And that was the New York Rangers getting lit up to the tune of a snowman on home ice. They're now 5-13 and whatever at home this year. An absolute tire fire. And to think that this is the first year of a 5-year deal for Mike Sullivan. That is a broken team, and they now find themselves, if I'm not mistaken, at the very bottom of the Eastern Conference standings right now.
They're right down. They're 2-9 in their last 11, along with this 5-game losing streak that they have. Some of those OT wins and stuff like that. Yeah, at home they're 5-13-4, 15-9-2 on the road, but have only managed the 5 home wins. I saw someone this morning on Twitter relating to like JT Miller, and just they brought up an interesting point that one of the better organizations that we've seen in the NHL over the last number of years has been the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they were a team that's like, yeah, we're good with this guy. This isn't somebody we need in this fold anymore after just a couple of years, and they moved on. And I think that says a lot about JT Miller. This guy, we saw what happened with Vancouver and all of that. I don't know where the Rangers are going. There was high expectations just a couple of years ago, and then things have just completely fallen apart. The good news, well, no, they're really like the East. I haven't looked at the East standings in a while. They're starting to slip away. Like before, it used to be that if you're in the bottom of the East, you might be 4 points, 3 points away from wild card spot. They're 8 points out of a wild card spot. So so we're starting to get a little bit of the separation from those bottom teams. At this point, you'd have to wonder about Chris Drury and whether he's a guy that should continue on as the general manager of that team. Like I think if you look at a lot of the moves that he's made over the last number of years, there's a lot of questionable ones there. And there's ones where you're seeing players play well when they move on from New York. And then you just mentioned the coaching contract that he just handed out. They might be in a down spin here, and we might be seeing the Rangers being not so good for quite some time. Although, does this, with them being down there, does NHL help things out and try to get them Gavin McKenna?
Like they did with Alex Lafreniere, who they're trying to run out of town right now. I mean, the the landscape of the league this year is so weird. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter if you're in the West like the Jets or the East like the Rangers. If you go a month winning only 2 games,
Yeah.
you're going to find yourself screwed. And that's basically where the Rangers are. And I mean, they've played more games than everybody in front of them too. Like, as bad as that 46 points looks, they're the only team that's under 500 in the entire East. And I mean, the wild card right now in the East is, so Boston is 7 games above 500. So are the Leafs. And Buffalo's 9 games above 500. What a run the Sabres are on. Gotta love it. Whereas in the West, it's 3 and 4 games above 500 that makes it happen. So, I mean, even the Jets have won 3 in a row. There's still 8 games back, of spots. So, I mean, for them to realistically be in any sort of a playoff picture, they got to win 3 of 4 consistently for the next little while, which is probably why, and that's why people are freaked. Like, some people are just happy that the wins are coming and it was so miserable around it. But if you already were at peace with the fact that this team wasn't making the playoffs, you get on a nice run in the second half, and all it does is pull you from a top 5 pick to maybe picking in the teens, which is frankly probably the worst case scenario for the season. So not an enviable place to be. But that's where the Jets and the Rangers find themselves in the opposite ones. The one thing I'll say about JT Miller with Tampa is that, in all fairness, I mean, they had so many great players and they had to make some really tough decisions. But if you look at JT Miller's time since then, the flame out in Vancouver, and I saw one of the guys, I think it was Wyatt Arndt maybe, clipping post-game interview with JT Miller after one of these recent losses, and was just kind of noting how similar this season is going for JT and the Rangers, as opposed to how it ended in Vancouver, without the massive infighting and feud that obviously was the biggest key. But that was a fascinating game last night, Matt. 2 teams going head to head in absolute disastrous positions. Like, who would you rather be right now? The Rangers, who are in last, or you can move up a few points and be the Senators, but you're dealing with that black cloud that team has around them.
Well, yeah,
I'd rather be the Rangers.
Yeah, because at least you're maybe sitting there and you could, at this point, just go, you want to know something? Let's just finish this season off. Let's try to stay at the bottom. Whereas, like, I know the Sens, even what they did last week, the press release that gets thrown out there for absolutely no reason. Like,
what did you think when you saw that? Like, what was your first reaction?
Well, I was confused by it, because you generally, like, I've seen enough rumors in sports to happen and teams not send out statements for online rumors. It just almost never happens. And then I spoke with Dave Jamieson, who's been around, PR for a long time. And he's just like, this doesn't make sense. Why would you, like, it is the Streisand effect here. For those that don't know what's going on, now you're just giving them more people a reason to go, okay, well, what are you talking about here? What is this? So you're just adding more attention to this. And it's one of those, like, just let it be. Unless the only way you could get around this is you come out and outright explain everything. No, this isn't what's happening. This is what's happening. This is, and unless you do that, people are also just going to be like, hey, yeah, you're just saying this. Like, it didn't make sense. So it just added extra drama around a team that doesn't need that right now with where they are in the standings and with the extra stuff that is going on. So it was a dumb move by the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, and I know Elliott was talking about, hey, they have a tough time keeping guys and getting guys. And I guess Staios really wanted to say, like, he has the players' backs. Like, it sounded like a player talking. But all it did, I mean, there were far more people that had no idea what he was talking about and then went and looked it up that knew what he was talking about based on, one tweet that was out there. But the whole Allmark thing is crazy. Like, he's on this personal leave. We've been talking about this on the show, and had Dennis Bernstein and a couple guys on. They said, well, I don't think Allmark's going to be playing another game for the Senators. He's not in the NHL program for anything. He's in Ottawa. And get this, I was talking to one of the Ottawa guys, like not on the air a couple days ago, and he was asking me some stuff about the Jets, and I was like, so what the heck's up with the Sens and Allmark? And he's like, dude, it's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. He was at the last 2 games, just sitting in the 400 level.
What?
Yes. Like with the fans.
Not even in the press box, not even a suite or anything, just in seats up high.
No. So I listen, I said, okay, I've never heard that before. That is, so they're in a weird territory right now. And it's too bad because at the start of the year, Ottawa was a team that actually did have a pretty good start. Like, this is the time for them to move forward. I mean, they've got all this young talent that is right there in their prime. I mean, they've done a very good job on their picks. I mean, Stützle's a stud, Brady Tkachuk, Sanderson. They've got a ton of talent there. And whatever's going on around them has really got them into a funk. So it's just, hockey's so strange. And, we lived through it this past month with the Jets. You sometimes get in a bad place, and it is just, no matter how talented you are, it is so hard to get out of it. I mean, hell, we've seen the Oilers be in this. The Oilers, like teams with McDavid and Draisaitl, go extended periods of time where they look like an American Hockey League team and can't do anything right. And then a few things change and you get your mojo back, and all of a sudden you're world beaters again. So,
well, the Ducks are in that one of those teams right now too, like 8-1 in their last 10. They got the win just against the Stars, I believe it was a couple nights ago. But like, what's happened to them? At the start, there was a period of time when we were at the quarter point of the season, a third of the way through the season, where Joel Quenneville, runaway Jack Adams winner here. And now they're sitting 2 points out of a playoff spot. So that, still, that could all still happen, but they were sitting nice in that Pacific Division, and now they're entirely out of the playoffs at this very moment. And that's one of the things that we've seen this enough with some teams that, maybe a little too soon they jump up at a halfway point, they might fall out. And it's one of those, they may not recover from this one. They might just stay out. And that's where I actually look at the Winnipeg Jets, and as much as 8 points is a lot to make up, when I do look at some of the teams though ahead of them, there are teams that aren't, like, to me, world beaters. It's not like
none of them are any good.
Right? Like, it's okay. So the Flames, I think the Jets could still get past. The Blues, I don't think are going to be a team that's necessarily going to turn it on. The Blackhawks, I think had a really great season, but not still there yet. The Ducks, same thing. The Preds, I don't know. That's a team that you could easily still see go from like the start of the season, fall off. The Sharks are early. They're all the teams are there for the Winnipeg Jets to go past. That 8 points at this moment isn't insurmountable. But the worst thing that could happen, though, as you said a little bit ago, is like you pick up some wins, you don't get into the playoffs, and then you're sitting and drafting 10, 11, 12. And it's like, okay, well, we got this point and didn't help us. And then the Oilers were that team for so long in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, you have a terrible run, you get your act together, you play for some pride, you make it look a little bit better, but end up killing the pick. But I mean, they're all pros. Everyone in there has a job to do, and it's to win hockey games. And as much as fans go, just go and lose all these games. I mean, it's not that easy. Famously, in the 15-16 season, the Jets, pretty disappointing year, realized towards the end that they weren't going to be in. And they shut down, like Brian Little had a nick. He was shut down, a bunch of guys. And you're thinking, okay, the tank's in. And then with all these call-ups, they go and run the table and win their last 6 games. But then we're rewarded by winning the lottery and moving up to 2 and getting Patrick Laine. So, I mean, the fact that there's a lottery, the only thing you can be guaranteed of is that if you finish dead last in the league, you're going to pick in the top 3, which this year seems to be like a pretty good place to be. But, as long as teams like Vancouver are around, it's going to be tough. Do you think that they'll think about moving Paterson? Hearing more and more about that around, that he would be, I don't know who's taking him at 11-6.
I feel like they would love to get rid of him, no?
I mean, I guess, considering where they're at right now, I mean, it seems like they're kind of really embracing the rebuild and going for younger players.
Yeah, from TSN a day ago, Canucks management using quote unquote rebuild word, open to moving Paterson. If you're in that full rebuild here, this 27-year-old, like he's not necessarily going to be part of the answer long term, I would say. So I think if you could get anything for him, you'd gladly go get something for him.
I mean, you would think you should be able to get something for him. I mean, he is, he can play around, but man,
the problem is you're dealing with an $11.6 million cap hit, so it's just not easy to necessarily bring in
no move.
that. But and then you add in the no move, so he gets to pick and choose where he wants to go. But the no move is easy to kind of get out of if you're the Canucks too, because it's just one like, look, do you want to be part of a rebuild or not? If you want to be part of a rebuild, okay, then yeah, you're screwed with that. But if it's like, if you don't want to be part of a rebuild, we need some sort of concessions from you on places you want to go, because to offload 11.6 is not something that's just going to be easy. It's not something we're going to be able to go do. Although I did see a report from out of Vancouver, Rick Darwall, last week, I think I saw it. He said something that the Canucks circled back around to the Oilers this year at some point to see if they wanted Evander Kane back.
Kane back. Oh,
like,
God, that was so funny.
If I saw that as a Canucks fan, I'd be just like, what is this? Like, get rid of this management team right now. Like, you go make this move, no cap retention, whatever. He comes in and you're trying to go back to the Oilers. Like, yeah, we don't want him anymore. Would you like him? Like, you think there's a return policy in the NHL? Best before 120 days?
Hey, you know what? Evander for Trent Frederick. Who says no?
Oh, it'd be the Canucks.
Exactly.
The Oilers. Hey, you would take Evander Kane because he's off the books after this year. So,
that's what we were talking about with the Mangiapane Gustav Nyquist potential deal.
Yeah.
You take our problem, we'll take yours. We'll be happy to see if it can work for one more year. You guys get the cap space off of at the end of the season. But like every single player, and this is why the NHL is a little bit broken. Like even Vancouver, I just pulled up the Canucks Puckpedia. So of course Elias has a full no move. Brock Besser, full no move. Jake DeBrusk, full no move. Now those are the only players up front. But then even guys like Philip Roenick, Marcus Paterson, Tyler Myers this year has a full no move. So,
and Connor Garland has a full no move coming next year.
Yes, on the contract that kicks in next year. So I would love it if they could say, okay, you know what? No moves are for superstar players. You can only have a max of 2 per team.
Well, think about the number of no trade clauses done in the NBA is like what, 2 or 3 players? That's it.
Yeah,
like it's you don't get them even as a star player in other leagues necessarily.
Which kind of is crazy, Matt, when you think about it. Like in the NBA, they seem to the players run the show.
Yes,
they have everything. How was that not like? How was hockey the guys that just gave them out to everyone? And in all of these other sports, they really don't have significant trade protection in any of the other ones.
Well, I'm trying to see if I can find in the NFL what we have. I just found one comment. 7 other NFL players have no trade clauses in their contract. Trevor Lawrence got one. So there's 8. There might be upwards of 8 players in the NFL. All quarterbacks, no surprise there. But only 8 quarterbacks with no trade clauses. But no one else has a no trade clause in the National Football League. I go back. One of the ground zeros to me of what happened with no trade clauses was when I think it was the Pittsburgh Penguins signed Georges Laraque from Arizona. And he got a no trade, no move clause. And it's like, of all the players, like, yeah, you've been around the league and you want to stay, but Georges Laraque didn't deserve, no disrespect to him, but that's not a guy that needs a no trade clause. You shouldn't be handing those out. So when you're giving them down, upwards of, 3rd, 4th line guys, and yeah, he's a top player. I'm sitting there, I want a no trade clause too. I want to control my future. And that was when a Pandora's box opened in the National Hockey League that I think would be very tough to legislate out. I love your idea of you could only have so many. But I don't think the players would ever go for that. I don't think the players would ever want to agree to that. And you'd have to give some sort of major concession if they're in the National Hockey League to give that one up. But it's just like the Oilers have a ridiculous amount. Even on the Canucks, you talked about the full no move, but then there's the modified no trade lists that are thrown in there. There's just so much trade protection that is thrown around with NHL GMs. Unlike any other sport, it's like that's their only thing that they know how to do. We're going to do a contract. We're going to make sure you have some sort of trade protection.
Even if a team like Winnipeg doesn't give them out, and they never really did for a long time, and now they've sort of had to just because that is the market. The problem is that even if they had a clean sheet, all the guys on other teams have been given them, and often places like Winnipeg, Ottawa, Edmonton before McDavid, or places where guys are like, no, I'd rather go to Anaheim or the Sharks, weather, taxes, all of those things. Well, certainly taxes is a big part of it, but I don't know how we get around that.
I just was looking at this MLB. They don't necessarily have no trade clauses that you sign in your contract, but any player who's an active major league roster for 10 full seasons and on one team for the last 5 years, they may not get traded to any team without his consent. So that's something that the MLB has, that if you've been around for a team for long enough and you've been in this league long enough, you can't just get moved off of that team for the sake of being moved off that team. I like that rule. So if you sign with the team and you're there for a while, then yeah.
My rule, that's fine. I mean, you'd have, like when I look at Winnipeg, I mean, the guys that have those deals, Scheifele, Connor, Lowry, those are basically the guys that would have them. And then obviously Connor Hellebuck as well. But even Hellebuck moves to a 10-team no trade in the final 3 years of his deal after no move for the first two. But anyways, that's just a pet peeve. Hey, before, I know we want to get to these games tonight, but I haven't spoken with you since John Harbaugh got the axe. Thoughts on them moving on from Harbaugh after 18 years? Pretty successful. I mean, I know you can look back
very
at some
successful
opportunities for sure. Sounds like he's going to the Giants.
Yeah.
And where do the Ravens go from here? I know a lot of Ravens fans feel like the guy that got away is coaching the Seahawks right now.
Yeah, and look, I loved Mike McDaniel as a DC. I don't think anyone knew who's going to be this good of a head coach. But it's also 1 year of this. Let's see if it could be continued success long term before we go, yeah, this was the next John Harbaugh that we just let walk away. I'm very sad by it. Knowing and seeing some of the Photoshops of him in Giants gear is making me sadder, because to me, he was just a damn good coach. And yeah, he had some of his issues, but I also look at games like the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs a couple years ago. If Zay Flowers holds on to that football, the ball's down at the 1, Ravens punch that in, they're probably off to the Super Bowl. And the Kansas City Chiefs don't go beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl. That's not John Harbaugh's fault necessarily. Lamar Jackson in big games always just seems to have some weird sort of turnover. And it stinks. I'm sad, but I also understand, after hearing some reports and what has come out of the Ravens, why they've done it. I do like the owner of the Baltimore Ravens. I think he's a solid owner. I think most people saw an insight into him when he spoke to the media this week for however long it was, and how open he is. He did a great job finding John Harbaugh. I was actually very pissed the day they hired John Harbaugh, because I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Why are we hiring some special teams coordinator from Philadelphia? Like, this is what a stupid hire. And now I'm sitting here 18 years later, just like absolutely in love with this guy. My biggest fear, though, is, the grass isn't always greener, and there's going to be there's a possibility for a situation here where the New York Giants are having a lot of success under John Harbaugh, and the Baltimore Ravens 3 years from now are looking for another head coach because the person they hired did not work out. They don't have the history like the Steelers, long history, but this is only going to be the 4th coaching hire that the Baltimore Ravens have ever had. And the last 2 won Super Bowls and stuff. So I'm happy that John has found his spot, that he's on his feet. I really like him. I'm going to miss him. I don't know where the Ravens go, because in credit to the owner, Steve Bisciotti, they've interviewed everybody, it seems. Like, I'm waiting for my interview with the Baltimore Ravens with the amount of stones that they're turning over. But I'm also worried about some of the people that they're interviewing, because there hasn't been someone yet that I've seen that I'm like, yeah, I want that guy. I wouldn't mind Jesse Minter, who's with the Chargers right now. To me, it's almost going to be more so, who are the DCs and who are the OC? Like, honestly, I don't want him as the head coach, but if there's a way they could get Mike McDaniel is the OC.
Oh yeah, the Minter McDaniel combo. I heard someone talking about that on a podcast. That would be pretty nice. Now, what about Lamar? Is Lamar the Baltimore Ravens quarterback on opening day in week 1?
Oh yeah, he ain't going anywhere.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think that's like they could say what they want. You know, John saying he had a great relationship with Lamar. Lamar saying a great relationship with John. Todd Monken saying he had a good relationship with Lamar. There was no issues there. Lamar saying the same thing about Monken, their OC. Clearly, there was something that maybe there was a wedge. There has to be. There just can't be that much smoke and then absolutely no fire. I think part of why this move happens is because the owner of the Ravens realizes I'm not losing Lamar Jackson. He's going to be our guy. So
I kind of felt that same way.
And so he's under contract for a couple more years. The owner yesterday said that he would like to renegotiate to try to bring down his cap hit at least. But I'm not worried about Lamar Jackson not being a Baltimore Raven. Then this is his team, and he's going to get a lot of say. You know, his word is going to be valuable to the owner of the Ravens for the next head coaching hire. It's not going to be the final say, as the owner pointed out. But you know, I am. There's a part of me that's very scared about moving forward. But I was also scared last time that this happened 18 years ago, and it took 18 years for this to happen again. So as much as I'm worried that 3 years from now they might be looking for a coach, there might be a situation 10 years from now I'm loving whoever they hired this year because he's still around and him and Lamar are hoisting the Super Bowl at some point together. So
Lamar, I was just looking at Lamar's contract. He's back this year. They have a potential out after next year, which would give them a $35 million dead cap hit. And then he's got the following year, and his cap hit this year is 74.5. So a big part of the Ravens cap. Yeah, Minter is interesting. He's got 8 interviews. I don't know whether Pittsburgh will give him an interview as well too to make 9. This is like a quarter of the league needs coaches right now.
So I saw a stat in 2022, if I get this all correctly, 10 teams needed a coach in 2022. 8 of those coaches have already been fired. So there's that quick turn. But yeah, there's a lot. And like everyone's going for everywhere. That's why I was like, when is the first domino going to fall? And with Harbaugh with the Giants, that might help set some things off. Do you know what's fascinating to me about this, though? And I get why it's happening, but the fact that there's this many coaching openings, and how many times have you heard the words Bill Belichick?
None.
Isn't that something else? Like I like this guy 3 years removed was the best coach ever. And like I see, he would still go down, I think, as the greatest coach ever. But it wasn't that long ago that this guy, if you said 3-4 years ago, you could go get him as a coach, a lot of teams would have jumped at the chance. Hasn't gone and gotten a job. And is not even, now we're not even talking about with 9 openings, him even interviewing for a job.
Well, he barely got interviews last year. Didn't he had one interview with the Falcons?
That was two. That would have been 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I don't think
he did the bottom line is that the Belichick show in operation right now with Jordan Hudson involved and is a gong show. I mean, it's like a reality show is what it is. And NFL teams don't want to sign up for that. And I think he wants major control. I'm not sure people feel that maybe his roster building is where it would need to be in 2026. I mean, it's hard to argue with the guy's resume, but it seems like time has moved on. Bill is, I don't know, is he going to go back to NC next year?
He's got one more year.
Just a mess there the entire time. So
I would take him with the Ravens, though.
You would?
He's got to dump his girlfriend. That'd be the condition. Like, she's got to go. But if I'm the Ravens, I'm looking for a Super Bowl win the next 2 to 3 years. And Bill Belichick has a lot of self-interest in getting that done.
Oh. Can you imagine the FU tour that he would be on if he was back with a legitimate team like the Ravens?
Like that's where I'm like, he would have to swallow some crow and be like, you're not in charge of player personnel. Like, that's not your job. Like, you've lost that long ago. You're coming here to coach. We're going to give you these players. You get Lamar Jackson. You get the tour to go get the all-time coaching record for wins and to go try to win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson. And I would like to think that he would go all out to go, yeah, here's my FU tour. But the girl's got to go. Like, she's not on the sideline. She's not around this facility. Like, even if she's with you, she's not around ever.
Not
she
even
doesn't
NFL teams can mandate love, Matt. Sorry.
Then he ain't coming to the Baltimore Ravens if I was the owner. That would be the one criteria that I have for that one.
That would be a non-starter. What do you think happens with the Steelers? Like, this is a team that's had 3 coaches. I mean, they hire to give a guy 20 years on the job. Now, they all won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So it's easier to do that when when they have that accomplishment. And I just see that the Steelers owner on Art Rooney was asked about a rebuild, and he said, the standard is the standard. And I don't like that word. So
here's a name.
They try to compete and win every year.
Kurt Cignetti, head coach of Indiana, is from Pittsburgh.
Sig? Oh. Well, to be honest, I thought of him as a potential guy that the Raiders might go after.
It would make a lot of sense.
And bring Mendoza in as the number 1 overall pick. Have both of them go to Vegas.
The one thing I saw, like, because he's not coaching this year, but somebody said, "Would you trade Mike Tomlin to the Raiders to try to get that first pick? You bring in Sig, then the Steelers draft Mendoza, but I don't think the Raiders are giving up a first for Mike Tomlin. But he's born in Pittsburgh. There's a connection to the area. Could you go snake? Now, he's an older coach, though. He's 64. So
the job that he's done in Indiana is one of the all-time greatest in the history of college football. And if they beat Miami, as expected, they're 8.5-point favorites.
Yeah, Miami's winning this football game.
They will have. Well, good luck with that. Well, I'll be more than happy to make a side wager with you on that. If they do what they've done to everyone else to Miami, they will have an argument that this is the greatest college football team of all time with the greatest college season of all time.
I get that. I think people are forgetting about that 0-1 Miami Hurricanes team and 17 first-rounders. If their offense didn't score a touchdown that year, I think they were going to be 8-4. If you took away all their touchdowns, that 0-1 team.
Well, but part of it is, who did they play?
They played they dominated at the point ranked 10 and 11 or like 10 and 14 or something.
Yeah, so a couple top 10 wins, a couple top 15 wins. I mean, that's pretty good. And then you're beating the hell out of everybody else. Mm-hmm. Like, with the way the Big Ten is right now, and now the college football playoff, if they win, they'll be the first team ever to be 16-0.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how many games there are.
You look at their margin of victory, a Heisman Trophy winning QB. I mean, there's a bunch of things. Like, I don't claim to be a college football expert, but I just was reading some of these comparisons, and it is wild. And think about this. This is Indiana. Like, if you told me that Indiana was the number 1 ranked college basketball team, sure. I can never remember the Hoosiers playing a meaningful football game before last year, ever. And now they're on the verge of making history. It is wild. But yeah, Sig in Pittsburgh would be fascinating. And to be honest, while we're talking about Mike Tomlin, I guess Penn State has moved on and got their guy. There was a lot of talk about Tomlin maybe leaving the Steelers and going to Penn State, towards the middle end of the season, which would be neat. And I'm sure those people were just thinking, hey, Tomlin can get away, be a job. He'd be an unbelievable leader of young men. But yeah, this coaching carousel is going to keep us busy for the next little while. I
also, and I was talking about this on the Hangout today, I do wonder if Mike Tomlin coaches again, though, because it's by all reports he's going to go to TV this year. And like we saw it from his predecessor in Bill Cowher, you get into TV life, and football coaches are insane. You get to TV life, you still get your football film. You still get to talk football. You still get to do it, but you don't have to do the hours as is. And with Mike Tomlin being willing to be like, yeah, I'm walking away from the Steelers. It's time for all of us to separate. Him making that decision. I wonder if he's a guy that's going to enjoy his year off, that is going to sit there and be like, this has been nice, and I don't necessarily need to get the coaching. So I'm going to be fascinated to see next year if we're going to be in a situation where Mike Tomlin's just going to sit there and be like, yeah, no, I'm going to pick where I want to go, and we're going to watch where the Mike Tomlin sweepstakes. Or if we're going to hear a situation where Mike Tomlin's going to be like, you want to know something? I'm pretty good. I'm enjoying this TV. I'm enjoying this, panel on a Sunday, and that's all I have to do. And I just have to watch film a couple days a week, and beyond that, just enjoy life. He's a damn good coach, though.
He reminds me. He's wired to be in the office early in the morning every day, and leading guys. But you're right. I mean, Cowher was too, and then he went to CBS, and he's like, you know what? This is great. I'm good. Now I'll be interested to hear if Tomlin says much, because I love him as a guy, and I love some of the things that he says after games. And, he's been great to watch as a coach the whole time. When it comes to insight, I guess, we'll see. Some guys that we didn't expect to be good were amazing, and some guys we thought that would be good have been terrible. So we will wait to it. Big night tonight in the NHL.
Yeah, 10 games.
Here.
Yeah, we only have got about 5 minutes left or so. Anything that stands out to you overall in this game? I know at EST Specials, Dusty, he doesn't have, early bird bet. Oilers money line, McDavid over 1.5, Draisaitl over 1+ points, Nuge with a point, that's plus 446, and Jay's play today has McDavid and Leon both with a power play point each, that's a plus 330. But overall, in these 10 games, anything standing out to you, Huss?
Well, you know what? We did hit that. We only had 4 games to pick from yesterday, and we banged out that 3-gamer. Shout out to the Golden Knights for blowing the lead in the third and making me stay up even later to see them win in overtime, but I appreciated them getting it done. We had Buffalo and we had Ottawa. I am loving Buffalo lately, the way they've been going. Now, they've got Montreal. Montreal was just playing the Canucks 2 nights ago. The Sabres going back-to-back. I think I'm still going to jump on Buffalo, though, at the plus money against Montreal. They're feeling it right now. We haven't seen this in a long, long time in Buffalo. This is a big, big game against another team that could be in the mix when it comes down to it for a playoff spot. So I'm going to take the plus money on Buffalo. I'm going to take the Columbus Blue Jackets, our pal Bones, in his second game at home against the Canucks, who I've just been basically roadkill on this road trip. And then I'm giving the Dallas Stars another opportunity. Now, 2 nights ago, we got the Caps right. We had Edmonton and Dallas. And then Edmonton lost in overtime. Well, it was a good time for the Oilers to blow it because Dallas ended up losing to Anaheim. They haven't been as good lately. Big divisional game in Utah. I think Dallas gets it done. They're like in and around minus 105. So I got those together well above over 5-1. If you get it on the boost, you might even get it a little bit closer to 6. But Dallas, Buffalo, and the Blue Jackets is going to be my 3-gamer tonight.
Yeah, I'll throw that up there. I've got plus 543 before any sort of boost. Yeah, the Dallas one I saw is just like it basically pick them, but it's the slightest of underdogs in this one.
Yeah,
I had to go look. Like, it's not like the Mammoth have been like they've been good in the last little bit. They've won 1, sitting in that top wild card spot. Dallas, they've had a little bit of their struggles, but they're just coming off that loss to the Anaheim Ducks. I would expect them to be a little bit more fired up, a little bit more, pissy, if you will, ready to go. So I do like those picks that you do have there. What do you make of Jets Wild tonight? Anything that you like in that game?
Well, it's so funny. I mean, the Jets have owned the Wild for the last 3 years. And the streak was finally snapped in Winnipeg right after Christmas in a game where the Jets actually played really well. But again, it was sort of the story of that 11-game losing streak. I mean, they just found a way to lose by 1. So they'll be ready to go. They'll be looking to build on it. But Minnesota's a really, really good team. And I mean, the addition of Quinn Hughes for a team that had tough time scoring, makes everybody better around him. It's just a brilliant ad by Bill Guerin. So there will be hope that the Jets can win, but I think reality is going to be a tough one with and Minnesota probably in a pretty poor mood after dropping a regulation loss to New Jersey on Monday, then had a couple days off waiting for Winnipeg to come in. So we'll look forward to that one tonight. A Jets, what's the old for the community bet today? If we go Jets at plus 120, Wild at minus 164, that's over 250. I like the Oilers tonight.
For the Wild, depending on the results tonight, they could be tied with the Stars in points at the end of tonight for second spot in the Central Division. Huss, what's coming up on WST today?
Well, we're going to dive into this game. Jesse Pierce, our good friend from Bar Down Beauties in the Twin Cities, is going to join us. We'll have a little bit more on the Jets right now. Jamie Thomas, Connor will jump on, and going to talk a little more about the CFL offseason, everything coming out of the meetings as well. So lots cooking today on the program, and obviously a big slate of games tonight.
You like the overtime possible changes? Go to a 2-point shootout? No more ties?
As opposed to a tie? For
sure.
Yeah,
I love it too.
No brainer.
As long as it's not in the, and I think it's regular season, as long as it's not in playoffs. If it's playoffs, you keep it going. I don't want the 2-point shootout in the playoffs, but keep that going. Glad they're keeping the 20-second play clock in the final 3 minutes.
In overtime, is playoff overtime the same as regular season overtime?
Yeah.
So they still start at the 35.
Yep. Line up, each get a possession. If it's tied, we keep doing. Except I think there's a point you have to go for twos. Is that all the time?
I was asking Dusty that yesterday.
Yeah, you always have to go for two now.
He said he thinks that you have to go for two now. Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes it for a lot of fun. Huss, enjoy. That's coming up on WST. Dusty, we'll talk with you tomorrow.
Hey, and by the way, I saw your tweet about that soccer game in Canada before.
June 1, baby.
That might need to be a little Huss visit to Edmonton.
Come on down, baby. 7:00 Monday night. Beautiful day night. Hopefully down at Commonwealth Stadium, natural grass there. It's going to be a good time. Come on out. We'll treat you well.
We'll be in touch. Okay, have a great one. Good luck tonight, folks.
See ya, Huss. Go check out him and Remus coming up on Winnipeg Sports Talk. Here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. We've got two guys and a goalie. Just one guy and a goalie. That will be Trev and Gager. We've got EST Afternoons. We've got the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, GCL Diesel Oilstream pre- and post-game shows coming up. I know there's a question in Pierre. I'll go bug him right away. Has Let's Do It hit? Has that been paid out?
No, it's still
just classified
as a lost.
It's classified as a lost?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to say, because I know Dusty did message them. I'll have to follow up on that one as well. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to the Lock Shop. On behalf of Huss, I am Matt. Thanks again for tuning in. Two guys and a goalie with Trev and Gager. Coming up next here on EST, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. Don't go anywhere.